Welcome to the space of NFT PowerUp. Compete for blue chip NFTs, cash prizes, and more on NFT PowerUp's trivia platform. The space will begin shortly. While you wait, join the back channel discussion on Discord. Join us every Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time for commentary on the latest Web3 news and to win big with NFT PowerUp's trivia gaming platform, nftpowerup.io. The space will begin shortly. Please repost the space now to bring in more of our AI and Web3 friends.
Hello. We're a few minutes late. That's my bad for setting it up, but we're good to go.
GM, how's it going, guys?
Hey, MG. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Alex.
Hey, GM, everyone. All good.
How's everyone doing? How's the day? I hope the sun is shining for everyone. Guys, super exciting to be back here on Power Up Culture. Just want to remind everyone to retweet the space, get everyone in, and don't forget that we also are streaming this space on YouTube and X via video. So make sure to go to Ayman's profile, retweet the live stream, and enjoy our discussions. Don't forget to also stay tuned to know all about the engineers. And that will be announcing the winners of last week's trivia and the new trivia that is coming out. Engage with us on the space, guys, and on the conversations. Share your thoughts by dropping your comments in the comments section on X as well. Kicking this episode off with MG, what can you tell us about BTC's surge?
Yeah, nothing new with Bitcoin, Sarah. I don't know what you're talking about.
I
don't know what you're talking about. Ayman, maybe this will get you back in the DGen mood. I'm pretty sure you all heard that Bitcoin crossed $50,000 for the first time since 2021. And this is a pretty bullish indicator. Ayman, do you think we're still in the bear market, or can you officially say we're in the bull market?
I've never said we left the bull market, MG.
I know
You're
you
the one
did. It's just a few days ago. I saw your comment in one of the chats. You said, "Oh, and we're still in the bear market." I know that was a sarcastic comment. But yeah,
I think it can go even higher because a lot of the institutions that want to put money into Bitcoin, the traditional institutions, now that it's regulated and okay to do so, they haven't moved the money in yet. So they're still working on internally, okay, are we going to do this or not? Does this make sense? Educate us on this Bitcoin thing. How much are others allocating? Do we put in 10 million, 20 million, 50 million? How long? And who understand this in our team? If we panic, if we want to pull out from the investment, what does that look like? So those types of discussions are still ongoing. So as they unroll over the next, I'd say 2 years, you'd see more and more money coming into Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin is statistically and historically, when Bitcoin was going up, everything else came up with it. And it's also aligned with the Fortune 500. But again, do your own research.
I love that quote at the end. But yeah, 100% what you said, Ayman. It's the institutions that drove the latest, we're guessing that institutions drove the latest rise in Bitcoin past 50,000. Now it's hovering between 51 to 52K, because we saw in January the Bitcoin ETF got approved, And the last week, the drive in the price of Bitcoin was mostly driven by the ETF. Billions were going into Grayscale and other ETF funds that drove the price of Bitcoin in a very crazy manner in just a few days. And yeah, so basically ETFs, also people anticipating that the halving is happening sometime soon. So we know that it happens in April. And so people are anticipating the halving, people are anticipating the ETF and what's happening with Bitcoin. And it's not just Bitcoin. It has that effect on the whole market. We saw Ethereum and Solana surge. We saw a lot of stocks related to Web3 also surge, MicroStrategy. We saw stocks of Coinbase also bump. So yeah, it's pretty bullish for the whole market.
We needed Bam Bam on the space. She was still waiting for her bags to be pumped by BTC. So
Yeah.
I'm really wondering whether that happened or not. But I have a really general question for whoever would like to answer it, Ayman, Alex, or MG. Do you think that Bitcoin will become a global reserve currency? Will it remain a speculative asset or evolve into something entirely different within the next, 5 years?
That's a big financial question, Sarah. I don't think it's. I don't think we're capable of talking about how much of a reserve it would be or not. But I don't think so. I think the traditional reserves have always been gold and more gold. So I think a lot of that has and then if anything, it's been other aspects, but not. It's going to take a while, Sarah. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, because the way Bitcoin has been marketed for the last couple of years is that it's a store of value. It's this digital gold. There's no more Bitcoin to be mined other than that 21 million Bitcoins. So as far as I'm concerned, Bitcoin will remain a store of value, and this value will be determined by the market. But we're seeing a lot of other cryptocurrencies and other projects delve into the capabilities of on-chain. We know Ethereum has its own huge ecosystem of coins, of dApps, and so on. So does Solana. So Bitcoin, to answer your question, Sarah, I think it will hold its value as a basically currency that holds, basically, it's a store of value.
I love that. Thank you, MG. So, similarly to BTC's pump, we also had a couple of things pump that Ayman also shared with us on the group.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was a Web3 guy. Yeah, it was a Web3 guy. He sent a screenshot of the floor price of Pudgy Penguins. It reached 21.5 ETH. That was a few days ago. It also peaked towards the 22.5 ETH. And everyone's talking whether Pudgy Penguins is finally gonna flip BTC, because BTC has been in a like a devastating downtrend for the last year. Their floor price has been going down, and it's reaching the point where Pudgy Penguins, a few more $1 million trading onto that project will boost it up towards beating BAYC, and a lot of people are waiting for that to happen. Not sure if it will happen, but Ayman, what are your thoughts on this?
You think it will be beyond Bored Ape?
To beat Bored Ape is like at least in the NFT space, it's like a pivotal moment where you're anticipating maybe Ethereum to beat Bitcoin, because for the longest time we've seen BAYC like be the holy grail of the NFT. I mean, irrespectively of CryptoPunks, but I mean, if Luca keeps this momentum going, I mean, it sure will. I don't know.
I think in general, because it's really pushing in the right direction of building the IP and really expanding on the kind of value that it can bring that goes outside from the holders, I think it really makes sense that it will continue to grow instead of diluting their, they're actually expanding in terms of creating value within that system. So I see it growing some more, but everybody wants to have that flippening happening, right? So it's always in anticipation of that.
Alex, I was spending some time. I was catching up with some DGen friends of mine, and then their opening was like, "You still have your penguin?" and I hadn't been paying attention that week, right? So I wasn't, and I know it was active, but I was like, it's up, but I didn't pay attention. They're like, oh, great, congratulations, patting me on the back. I was like, okay, I should probably go ahead and check. And I checked, and I saw the floor. I was like, okay. And then my first reaction was, let me go and check, the versus Mutant and Bored Ape. So that was where my head went to see how big they are.
Yeah, that's a natural reaction always, right? It's like when it's that close, it's always that anticipation. Is it going to happen? Everybody's always there. But we will see. I think he has so many other plans of expanding that IP. It definitely has that potential.
And irrelevant, what I like about their model is that they have a business model. So they sell toys. I understand there's IP and licensing and so on, but at the end, they have a revenue cycle from a distribution in Walmart and new stores in the UK or so on. So they have a bunch of they have a toy distribution company on that, so that generates revenue, and they're selling out in certain locations. There are reorders in those locations. All signs of a healthy business as well. So irrelevant of the NFT price itself, there's a business model there. Which can we say the same about Yuga?
Yeah. And I think it's also because it expands beyond the Web3 circle, and the fact that you're getting in, basically new money into the ecosystem. So yeah, I see that as the greatest positive that they have.
The thing with Pudgy is that, am I lagging, or can you guys hear me?
No, we're good. We're just waiting for you to say the thing with
I
Pudgy.
thought you guys drop
the gems. We got you.
No, I think the thing with Pudgy is that they're appealing to a wider audience than the Web3 space. Going on to what Alex said, and when you see social media of, let's say, Instagram, a lot of people who are interacting with Pudgy, at least the younger generations, they're playing with these toys. They're moving in Pudgy world, so they're interacting with this IP brand in a way that other brands are not. So you see Bored Apes, like a whole degen aspect. You have mutants, you have dogs, and so on. So there's this target market where Pudgy is expanding beyond the Web3 degens, and I think this is where they're excelling. And the community is what's driving this force, because they have a lot of loyal members in different parts of the world. They have Pudgy Asia, they have Pudgy Europe, and so on. And Luca does all these meetups. So I think the community is like this whole force that's building into the pump of Pudgy right now.
MG,
No, all I'm saying is there's a lot more room for growth.
Yep.
Yeah, and I wanted to add more on what you just said, Ayman. What do you think Yuga or BC must do right now in order for them to maintain their floor price and the trust of their community? Because I cannot remember the last thing that Yuga did, which actually hyped up the whole space.
In their case, in the case of Pudgy Penguins, I know everybody is excited about the floor price. What I would look at more is the business model itself. So they have a standalone business. They have a large toy distribution. They have IP. They have a game coming up. So they're working more on the business model, and there's revenue generated there, not only from transactions of selling and buying the NFTs. The floor might go up and down as the NFT prices, they tend to go up and down as they do, especially with news and activities. But the business model itself is what I'd keep an eye on to see how much revenue they're generating, how have they been able to get more reorders into distribution, into wider store. They have their own platform for others to place their own IP to license their NFTs to others. They're building their game and so on. So I would keep a closer eye on that.
Absolutely, Ayman, 100%. MG, can you please remind me? I think the last time we saw Yuga Labs, they were supposed to bring back their game and do all sorts of things. Are they still doing that?
They announced it. They announced it earlier this year in the roadmap. They announced a couple of things, and one thing they want to bring back was Dookie Dash, make it available for the public. But they did announce that it was coming in Q1. 2024. So far, we're still in Q1, and it hasn't come out yet. But you could sign up for early access, and I'm pretty sure at some point it will be available for everyone to play for the public.
Interesting, Alex. Where did you take part in Dookie Dash Yuga Labs game, or were you not involved in it?
No, we weren't involved in it. Actually, the one that we were involved in for the at the eye candy level was actually the Legends of Mara, which we are continuing to develop.
Mm.
So yeah.
So do you own land in Legends of Mara, or what part of the game are you involved in?
So the iCandy were actually one of the co-developers for Legends of Mara. But personally, I don't have any land. I did not manage to grab any. So
Yeah.
I mean, company-wise, we do have some, but yeah.
All right.
Interesting, guys. So moving on to the next topic, I'm gonna spill some tea. I don't know if you guys were aware about the latest review that Mark Zuckerberg posted on his social media. He actually shared a video review of Apple's Vision Pro, comparing it directly with Meta's Quest 3. While using Meta Quest 3, he declared that the Quest 3 was the better value, or had a better value due to its lower price, which is $500, while the Vision Pro is at 3.5K, and the superior product overall. And as I said, the review was filmed using his Quest 3's pass-through feature, showcasing the ability to interact with the digital screens projected in the physical environment, which is also a capability that is promoted by the Vision Pro. Now, if we wanted to compare these two products, Meta is priced at $500. It has this white wireless headset with a handheld controller, and it's also noted for its comfort, sustainability, and suitability for immersive gaming. And they also have their other Quest, which is the Meta Quest Pro, while Apple's Vision Pro is priced at 3.5K, featuring a sleek design, but it kind of looks like ski goggles, and it does have a wired battery pack. It operates on hand and eye signals without the need for controllers, which MetaQuest does not have yet. And it's also praised for its 4K resolution. So I feel like they're both still a little uncomfortable to have on your eyes, unlike Ray-Ban's glasses, for example. So I think their practical daily use is still limited. But Ayman, I'm interested to know, what do you think about Mark's move? Is it okay to trash another company's product, knowing that they've been not doing so much for the longest time, while Apple has been actively advancing their products?
When I first saw the video of Zuckerberg talking about the Quest versus Apple's Vision Pro, I thought it was a deep fake because the resolution was not very high. It was them, us versus them type of approach, and I thought there's something unusual there. But then I verified that I saw it on his own Instagram page, and the quality was due to the recording from within the pass-through. Then what I spent time on was the comments. I wanted to see how people were perceiving this, and I saw there were two main themes. One theme that loved Zuckerberg for doing this. They said he's still he's a wartime CEO. He's still building. He has the courage to do this. These are billion-dollar companies going against each other. Great for him, and he's doing this fight and he's pushing this. So there's a big fan base for who liked him and liked what he was doing and how he did this. And then you have the other camp in the comments that said, this will not age well. They start to talk about Steve Ballmer was making fun of the iPhone, of how it's going to cost $500 with a plan and so on. Nobody was going to pay this money and it's expensive and. So they were saying that this is going to be the same. Others were saying that Quest has had 3 years and a multi-billion-dollar approach to building this. Apple Vision Pro, this is version 1, so in a few years it's going to be different. So it's I felt the audience was split between they're either very pro Zuck and or anti Zuck, and based on that they've been commenting. However, one thing that I found frequently is that after there was a common theme that they did not know. Many of the audience who are also in the tech space and follow Zuckerberg, they were saying that they do not know that the Quest can do so many things, so many features and functions that he simply laid out. And they felt that the company could have done a better job in terms of communicating the features and functions that they learned. And now they were interested in buying a Quest to try it out because it's relatively affordable and it makes sense for them. So that was the summary of the comments I saw on that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ayman.
Hey, Alex.
Sorry, I think it from a marketing perspective, I think it was brilliant. Like jumping in the conversation at the right time to get more attention on the product that you have. In terms of a marketing move, it was brilliant. Especially like very similar to how the Kanye one did it, where it's like they paid $7 million for the spot, and then they do that simple, just on the phone ad. It feels that way, so I think it was actually brilliant from that perspective.
Yeah, so what Zug basically did is said, oh, the Vision Pro that you're all stoked about, our Meta does the exact same thing. But as you said, Ayman, they didn't market it quite right, because the videos that you see of the Meta Quest, it's more focused towards gaming and these VR realities, basically, where you engage with other people and you play a game or do whatever. And they missed out the part where you can be productive using your Quest, because basically it can display the screens. It can also do the mirroring through. Basically, I forgot the word. Basically, you can see through through the Vision Pro, just like the Vision. Yeah, the pass through. Yeah, exactly. And I think that they could have done a better job of that. But yeah, tough luck.
What I think will happen with the newer Quest is they're going to bring back in some features and functions that are similar to the Apple Vision Pro. So he mentioned that they already had the eye tracking, where when you move your eyes, you can move icons and so on, but then they chose to remove it. They said we'll bring that back in the future. So I feel that they're pointing out a couple of things that people are excited about in the Vision Pro that they could somewhat bring back in. And I think also because of the price difference, they might want to still even take it at a loss. So they're adding these new features. They want to keep it under. They were really pushing the $500, sub $500 type of thing. So it's 7 times as expensive. I don't. If they come back and it's $1,000, it's going to be it's going to be a bigger jump for consumers, and it will affect their positioning on this. But I think the newer version will have updated items that are inspired / pushed pressured by the Apple Vision Pro.
Do you think the price difference is reasonable, since MG just mentioned that they do have very similar features, and as you said, Ayman, it's more than double the price. So do you think it's reasonable for them to do that, and would that have everyone just go for the Quest rather than paying all this lump sum and buying the Apple Pro Vision?
With Apple pricing, it's always been the case, even long before the iPhones. People will find a way to pay thousands of dollars for the Apple device because that gives you a status. If person A has an Apple Vision Pro and person B has a Quest, which is 7 times as cheaper, the positioning of person A is like, I have the more expensive one, it's better in a sense. And others will say, I don't have that, you paid 7 times, I don't have that money, and so on. So that there's that aspect of this. And also you can see this today in the iPhones. Those who can't pay $1,000, $1,500 for the phone, they're buying iPhones. They're finding a way, whether it's subsidized, they can pay it through monthly installments via their mobile carrier or whatever, or buy now, pay later. There are solutions for them to go ahead and do this. I feel the V2 will have a much bigger appeal because now many people are interested. They're still finding that the pricing is not great, but then if there's a V2 there, it's slightly cheaper, which very likely it will be. I'd say instead of 3,500, it will be 3,000, let's say. There's more interest in there, and they fixed a few things and so on. So I think that there's a big appeal on that there. Plus, I think those who want to go into this space, they're interested in this, they'd pay for the Quest because it's not, it's relatively easier to go into. If you're just curious, do you see how you're going to use it and how you're going to use it and what you're going to play and what you're going to do? It's you would go into this, but at the end of the day, when it comes to headsets, I was reading an article. They were a tech review firm, and they were saying that, okay, we wanted to revisit our Quest. And then they put between parentheses, yes, we found it. We had to go back and find it. And then they put between parentheses that we had to charge it. And then, because this was also a pattern I saw as well, is I have a Quest at home, not the latest one, the one before this. I have a Quest at home. And then, we use it periodically at home, but I know that every time we want to use it, we have to charge it, which is a sign that we're not using it enough the way you'd use a tablet or a phone or so on. So that quote that I found in the article resonated with me, that if we're not charging this enough, that means my usage is not enough. I don't obsess about it, that, oh no, I didn't charge it the night before. That is a sign of usage.
Ayman, what do you use it mostly for? And once you do you feel like you're satisfied with your experience using it?
It's mostly gaming for me at this point. I haven't tried the placements. I don't think I can with. What's the latest Quest, MG? The 3 or the 4?
Yeah, it's a 3.
The 3, I have the 2, right? So I don't know if I can place the windows or so on. I didn't try. Honestly, I didn't try. But the pattern is every time I plug it in, I check if there's a software update. There usually is, and there's a bit of an adjustment there on this. But so I tried to do this with my kids. I thought they would play with the Quest more, and I found that they play with the Quest once they found a killer app that they want to play, which is a game that they really like. And in that case, they wanted a better accessory because they want to wear it for longer hours, and they were sweating in it and so on. They wanted easier accessories that can help them with that sweat and the heat. The game itself wanted longer arms than the controllers and so on. So when I saw them spending more time playing it, asking for accessories on it, and playing it with their friends, for me it was very clear it's not a device as much as the app, the killer app on the device. And they found ways against the heat, the weight, the discomfort of using it for long hours. They wanted to play the game. So I think once we have more and more killer apps, we'd use them more. The killer apps could be business, where instead of I have a couple of large screens in front of me now, I'd have virtual screens, for example, or that's the business, or that's the business equivalent of this, or the gaming, or the usage in your house.
Absolutely. Alex, have you tried any of those, or are you interested in trying the Apple Vision Pro or the Meta Quest?
I think the last time I used VR was on the PlayStation. So that was quite a while ago. And I have a problem with motion sickness. Whenever I use it, I don't think I'm alone on this. I think there's quite a large majority of people who actually have this issue when using VR. So I think that's another challenge the industry is facing too. Yeah. So I think one of the interesting things about Apple,
Alex.
Oh yeah, I get it even from playing like first-person shooter games. So it's like I spend like 10 minutes of fun, and I have like 1 hour on the couch just trying not to throw up. That's the problem I have. But I think the Apple Vision Pro has.
Sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
No, I think Apple Vision Pro has another thing, which is that they're trying to build towards an entire ecosystem that actually builds towards the functionalities that tie in with your iPhone and everything. They're trying to make it into a day-to-day thing. I think that's the difference that they're trying to push. I feel personally, from the overall observation and the experience that people have had, I still think it's a little bit too bulky to actually push in that direction. I know that's where they want to go, but it remains to be seen. I think it needs to be, basically run through more iterations and improvements, if you ask me.
For the nausea, I don't know how much of a solution there is. With the improved versions, it's getting better. But for me, it's the same like you had, where it was a first-person shooter game, and I felt nauseous. And the concern I had was not sitting on the couch later. It was more of I'm standing. I was worried about, am I gonna feel dizzy and fall? Am I gonna faint? So that was a bit of a concern that I had on this. But then with time, I was able to get used to it a little bit further. But there is a bit of a learning curve on this. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same for me as well. And I can never last more than 5 minutes with a VR headset on me, or else it would ruin literally the whole day for me. I never have motion sickness from the boats or from anything like that. But VRs and all those games where you have to immerse yourself into the world, they're just really, really bad for me. Before we continue and move on, we've got a video actually of Mark Zuckerberg doing all of this, Web3 guy. Would you please share it with the audience so they can just have an idea of what's happening?
All right, guys. So I finally tried Apple's Vision Pro. And, I have to say that before this, I expected that Quest would be the better value for most people since it's really good and it's like 7 times less expensive. But after using it, I don't just think that Quest is the better value. I think the Quest is the better product, period. And, the different companies made different design decisions for the headsets. They have different strengths. But overall, Quest is better for the vast majority of things that people use mixed reality for. Now, my friend Kenny is actually capturing this video on Quest's high-resolution mixed reality pass-through right now. We're just here in my living room, and you can see his browser windows and whatever else he's got running up here. So yeah, Quest 3 does high-quality pass-through with big screens, just like Vision Pro. But we also designed it to be great for a lot of other things, moving around, playing games, hanging out with friends and socializing, working out, and more. Quest, I think is just a lot more comfortable. We designed it to weigh 120 grams less, which makes a really big difference on your face. There's no wires that get in the way when you move around. It's a big deal. Our field of view is wider, and I found our screen to be...
Yeah, so that's basically how Zuckerberg dissed Apple.
When I saw the video, I remembered some of the comments. They were asking about the pillow in the background that's so plush and a big volume. They were commenting how you're a billionaire, yet the video you've chosen with is a couch and drapes behind you. And they're talking about how simple that is, or so on. But then you have to remember that this is Zuckerberg, so whatever he does will be accepted and widely viewed, and so on. If you did this with your couch and drapes at home, you're going to have a difficult time having the views and the attention.
Absolutely.
Alex, you mentioned, I was just jumping on Alex's point. You mentioned that it's still bulky, and I do agree with that. But I saw somewhere, and Web3 guy can maybe help me out with this. There's this new product that's launching. That's called the Frame by Brilliant Labs. Have you heard of this?
No, let me look it up. Yeah, go ahead. What's up with the Frame?
Yeah, so basically, Brilliant Labs, they designed the Frame, which is some eyeglasses, and they're powered by AI. So they're powered by, I think, multimodal AI that talks to you. So you don't turn it on, you don't turn it off, it's always on, and you can ask it questions, and it would answer you. So I think this is kind of like the Ray-Ban one that got released a while back, but yeah, there is like 6 million to do it and so on. And I have a little demo, which I don't know, it raised some concerns for me. I will talk about it after the video.
You ready? Hey Noah, there's a lot of good looking stuff here, but I want something low carb, low sugar. What do you recommend?
So yeah, that's basically the demo. So for the audience listening,
I don't think croissants and chocolate croissants
exactly.
and whatever fit the low carb, low sugar.
Exactly. I don't think anything from the whole fridge fits in any diet. So that was my concern.
What AI are they using? What AI are they using?
It's called Noah.
Yeah, but is it their own LLM?
Let me check if it's powered by another model.
Their website says it's been designed with love in Stockholm and San Francisco. It's been assembled in Singapore. And it's a $350 device.
Yeah, exactly. It's equipped with the ability to run GPT-4. So I don't know what they mean by that, if it's powered by it or can be used on it. So yeah, that's basically it. But the glasses are nice. So
yeah, they had
the Ray-Bans have audio in them, right? You can listen to music, you can speak to it, it can speak to you. Ray-Ban has it. It's more or less the same price range, no?
Yeah, but this one only it doesn't talk, so you can only see the text in front of you. And
so the Ray-Ban only speaks, right? Doesn't display anything, right?
Yeah, I think it's this range.
Okay. Yeah, they were developing an earlier model of these eyeglasses which was basically a monocle, a piece of glass that had all the tech embedded into it. It's literally a piece of glass, and it had a small slit where the text would appear. But I'm guessing now they figured out how to put all the tech into the frame, and the glasses now are the display, which is pretty cool.
Web3 guy, what are they priced at? And are they available for purchase now, or are they not?
Not yet, not yet. They will be available for pre-order in March, but they're saying it will be priced at 300 to 350 US dollars, so something in this range.
Interesting. Ayman, would you use such a device on your daily
Oh yeah,
basis?
I'm waiting for decent eyeglasses, right? So I wanted to get the Ray-Bans, the Meta Ray-Bans, but they were not available to me easily. But no, I'm close to, once if you told me now and I checked it and it was nice, I would have ordered, right? So it's I'm close to, for the advertisers or the ads I'm going to see later on Instagram, I'm looking for smart AI glasses that I can use easily, and the price range that I'm seeing, they're all in the range of $300, $350. So that's why it's just a matter of a choice of doing which one I'll end up using or not.
Would Ray-Ban appeal to you because it's Ray-Ban and it has?
No, I like that it's a V2. So I like that V2 of the first one I saw a few years ago. The camera was weak, relatively. I like this one. It has Meta's AI. It has audio, and in theory, the audio sticks. It doesn't bother others because in theory, it's done towards you, not towards them, or so on. So I haven't tried that to see how loud it is and satisfying it is, because I like my music loud. But just I'm ready to buy. I walk into the Ray-Ban stores every now and then. I'm passing by. I come in like
no, they don't have it.
It's a quick no.
But how come is it not being sold in the UAE, Ayman, considering the UAE
it's a
is
combination. I think it's a combination because I haven't seen much of it. Also, in other parts of the world, I haven't seen it. I don't know if there's a volume of it. There's something there's something to be. Let me look it up. But there's something about the volume of it. I haven't seen a lot of them in stock or on the internet. I'll look some of them up now and we'll see what that looks like. But yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Alex, what about you? Would you use something like that on your day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I think definitely it's something to consider. But I mean, one thing to say, right? When you think about it, Google Glass was like 10 years ago. How ahead of time were they, right? And it's the same thing: display, camera. It's just the recognition and integration into the daily use of what we are familiar with now. It just wasn't there yet. But damn, it's like, it just makes me think.
Yeah, now this whole concept of wearables, no matter how absurd they look on your face, has become very normalized versus 10 years ago, where you have this metal strap on your head and this piece of glass. Yeah, way ahead of their time, Google.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, we also had these spectacles by Snapchat they were launched a long time ago, but I also did not see a lot of people use them. But I think they were the first.
No, the spectacles, I think they only record videos and take snapshots. I don't think they have any type of intelligence or maybe search engines integrated into them.
MG, do you wear lenses with your eyeglasses or just eyeglasses?
I used to wear lenses when I did some sports, but they used to irritate my eyes, so I just stick to eyeglasses right now.
Because one thing also, I'm looking up now the Meta glasses, and I also remember now where I got stuck, where I didn't make a decision: do I get them with prescription eyeglasses, or do I actually keep on wearing my lenses and wear them? And then I don't want to wear my eyeglasses. What does that mean? Does that mean I put them on and off? Or so on. So that was the part where I remember now. I'm looking at them now quickly. It's like, yeah, let me order, but wait, I don't want to wear shades inside. Do I get them clear? So that you go. That's why I thought in the Ray-Ban store I can go in and I do the prescription, order it, and leave. But now it becomes, it's a longer process.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah. So moving on, MG, we've got a new token standard, which is the ERC 404. Everyone's talking about it. What can you tell us about it? Why is it so important? Why is it cool? And what's the hype?
Yeah. First of all, I want to ask Alex. Alex, has this come across your radar? ERC 404?
Yeah, I've actually been looking at it. Still haven't had time to go really into deep dive, but I think it does have a lot of potential in
Yeah.
terms of like how to say collective ownership, and not just from the perspective of actually just ownership, right? It's how your interactions can actually affect the token. I think there's so much potential for that because now you actually involve people in a sense from a community standpoint, not just for community as a whole, but even for the ownership of that single token. So I think there's a lot of potential that you can really expand into. Love to hear your thoughts on it as well.
Yeah, Ayman, just to describe this standard briefly, basically it's a new standard that's combining ERC 721, so basically the NFTs that we know, with the ERC 20, which are the tokens. So coins and NFTs, they're combining them into one. And how it works is that first of all, you have this project who's, let's say, launching their collection. You can buy 0.5, let's say, of an ERC 404, and those would act as currencies, as tokens. But when you have a full ERC 404, automatically the contract mints another NFT to your wallet. So basically, this NFT is linked to those ERC tokens. If you decided to sell a portion of these tokens, then that NFT gets burned. So now you don't own the NFT, but you own a portion of those tokens. So it's a play on tokenization of NFTs. It's a whole it's not a whole new concept, but I think it brings more liquidity into the NFT space in terms of sharing ownership and fractionalization of NFTs.
What's the logic behind this? Is it you're trying? What's your primary use? What do you think the primary usage would be? To buy coins or to buy NFTs?
So let's say this would be basically someone who does not have enough money, let's say, to buy an NFT, a whole NFT. He can buy a portion of that NFT, and the price would appreciate up and down, just like Ethereum's price appreciates up and down. But if he's once he's ready, or once he wants to own a full token, he can purchase one full ERC 404, and then he gets a token minted directly to his wallet. But the use case would be to get more liquidity, as I said, into the market, because now if you want to sell or buy an NFT, you go onto these marketplaces, you go onto OpenSea, you go on Blur, you list it, and you see the bid, and you can buy and sell. Here, it's a whole different dynamic because you can trade it just like you trade ERC20 tokens. So there's more going in and out of, let's say, that project or that token and so on. And I think that's where the real capabilities lie. It's still an experimental standard, Ayman, which is still not fully audited, but a lot of devs have been improving the standard because it has a lot of gas fees right now. It doesn't have the full edge cases planned out. So it's still an experimental standard, but it's pretty interesting.
I would also like to add an example of how a project is doing that. There's this project called Pandora, and what they're doing is actually this artwork that MG mentioned, the NFT, it changes. It becomes a dynamic NFT every time you trade or sell the tokens, these special tokens that you have. So it's like you have a new piece of art every time you trade or you sell these tokens, which is pretty interesting. But again, as MG said, there is still a lot of skepticism around it, and people are just still waiting to see how it will apply to the broader range.
Yeah.
What's next? We listen to Alex. What Alex wants to share?
Regarding this topic, I'm not sure because in overall development, right, I have noticed, and when we've been studying it, right, the ERC 1155, about how you basically it's kind of similar in a way. It generally doesn't really work too well, but I think they are onto something if they can kind of like tie in how the collective ownership can actually also work towards the collective contribution towards that individual NFT itself, right? Each one that's been fractionalized. So I think there's more that can be done that will have more community involvement. So it's like, how, let's say, okay, we are kind of like collectively sharing this one specific NFT that's been fractionalized. How can our efforts, when we hold it, contribute and add to that value of that one specific NFT? I think that would be something that's very interesting and potentially something that we can, look into in terms of development.
Okay. Thanks for sharing. Let's move on to the engineers. Alex, who are you and what do you do?
Okay, so actually I'm the project lead for the engineers, and over here what we're trying to do is we're trying to really expand on the interoperability aspect of NFTs, right? So what happens a lot of time is that whenever you talk about interoperability, people tend to go in the direction of, hey, one asset that can be used across multiple platforms, different places, but the actual implementation actually still requires a lot of work of actually collaborating with each of the different platforms to actually make it work. It's not as simple as, this thing can immediately be transferred in. So from our perspective, we come from Lemon Sky Studios, which has been working with, AAA titles, from the likes of Blizzard, Square Enix, and all these different studios in terms of creating art, assets, game and animations and whatnot. So we felt like we were in a position to actually kind of really implement interoperability by supplying kind of like the effort of art integration into these different projects that we collaborate with. So with the engineers, we want to expand it as an IP that works across multiple platforms, and through collaboration kind of like expand the brand of the engineers. So owning the engineers not just gives you the asset within the engineer ecosystem, but also expands to the different partners, and you can see how the engineers can exist between these different worlds that we have. So we haven't launched the project yet. We've still been building up in terms of like collaborations, working with different partners. Most recently, we've actually partnered with Active, ATIV, which actually develops music and sound. So we've kind of collaborated to create a sound for the engineers. And from here, we can see how that interoperability actually expands, because this music will be made available in Star Symphony, which is actually a rhythm game where you can actually play to the music, and it's tied in with all these Web3 aspects and tokenization, having tickets and whatnot. So this is how we kind of want to demonstrate the possibilities of interoperability with the engineers before the project is even out. So yeah, that's a quick, brief idea of what the engineers is about and how we want to continue to expand through collaborations.
Who's your target audience?
So we always believe that with the engineers, we're talking about not specifically engineers, but basically people who create, right? So within the NFT ecosystems, it's not just about creators who actually create value into the ecosystem. Every person who actually participates, whether it's through community, through owning the token, you actually contribute towards the larger ecosystem, and you're part of this creator within the entire ecosystem. So our idea is to actually get people who are interested to see how an IP can actually expand into different metaverses, with the whole concept of how the engineers actually transport through portals. So upcoming, we have the active collaboration along with Star Symphony. We have our universe, which is being built in Sandbox, which we will be revealing very, very soon. It's mostly been built. We're looking for the right time to actually pair it as it gets closer to the NFT mint, and how you can get rewarded through that ecosystem as well. So we're targeting people who are interested, to see how having this engineer will expand the collaboration possibilities and getting additional benefits through the people that we collaborate with, while also building within the engineers ecosystem itself.
Okay. What stage is your business in now?
Currently, we are actually working out the collaborations that we have, building out the different universes, like I said, through the metaverse experience. The engineers is not like the main business model, because actually Lemon Sky has already been existing within the Web2 space. So we've been growing within the Web2 space itself. It's just that the engineers is actually the first IP that we are putting out ourselves. All this while, we've actually been building for other companies. We've been building for, like I said, the AAA companies and all that. And we actually have not created an IP for ourselves. So the engineers is actually our first step into building our own IP with all the capabilities that we have. And we really believe that in the gaming world, Web3 adoption will happen eventually. So through the engineers project, we're actually building the bridge as the preparation for when adoption actually happens, because we have, these different partners that we've been working with for a long time within the Web2 space. And when the time is right, the engineers will actually act as this bridge that can actually transition between both the Web2 space as well as the Web3 gaming world.
What's your plan for marketing? What has been working for you so far? What areas are you still working on?
So right now, actually, we are looking to expand through community engagement. Most recently, we have actually been building out a few different kind of experiences to give the impact of how the engineers can work across multiple universes. So we've actually created an experience within an example like Gather Town, where you can actually visit a universe within this kind of system. We've actually already built the one for Sandbox, creating that universe or that space in Star Symphony, and all these different things are actually in the process of building, which we've been working on our side. So it's all leading up to the mint, where you can actually see how your token can actually have the impact across these different universes that have been built. So right now, we've actually built out the Sandbox experience, which is ready to be released at the time's right. The music that we've created in collaboration with Active for Star Symphony. We built out an experience in Gather Town, which is going to be happening very, very soon. We had some issues with Shuttle Bay when we were working with it in terms of selecting certain winners to actually be able to be the first to get into the experience. So I think once that has been resolved, we will be announcing the first batch of people who will actually get to experience a portion of what the Engineers Universe will be.
And there was some collaboration with Call of Duty. Were they a customer like you mentioned before, or is it the collab part of this project?
No, that one is more like part of our Web2 developments, but we are continuing to expand in terms of the collaborations that we have. I think the gaming space is still very hesitant. The Web2 gaming space is still very hesitant to kind of like encroach into the Web3 space as well. We do see some brands kind of like loaning out their IPs into expanding into the Web3 space. But I think the general Web2 audience is still quite hesitant when it comes to gaming. So what we're doing is still focusing on building the Web3 aspect and integrations, and some familiar Web2 integrations, like I mentioned with Gather Town, so that it can kind of have a broader appeal where it's not just all about Web3, but it's about how we can build the engineers into this multi-metaverse traversing entity.
What are important dates that you want to share with your audience?
So right now, our work, we're actually working towards a Q1 launch of some of the early experiences that we have. But we do not have a very fixed date yet. I know it's been a while, but we'll continue to develop and keep you all updated on this information. It's not easy because we really want to work out this idea that, you can really go into these different universes as we go along. And, we'll have more information when it's available. But right now, you still have different ways that you can actually earn the engineer NFT ahead of time, which is through our Discord, where we have actually built in a concept of, research, right? Where you can join the engineers in researching to understand the multi-metaverse. And from there, you will generate these research points, which will translate into your raffle for a chance to win a free engineer as well. So that's what we have going.
As we wrap up with you, where would you want to send them? A website, Discord, Twitter, X?
So I would recommend going to our website. Our Discord is where you can actually have that engagement, where you actually run the research. There's also chances where certain packages will appear within Discord itself that will gain you additional research points, as well as some mystery prizes that can lead you to these different experiences that we're going to be putting out with the Sandbox, as well as with the Gather Town, and anything else that we're going to build within this space. So I would recommend going to the Discord and kind of like participating in the research programs and getting the latest updates from them.
Okay. Thank you, Alex, for sharing with us your project, and good luck with that.
Thanks.
Next Web3 guy, we're moving on to the
Winners.
winners.
Let's go.
Get ready, everyone. We're about to announce this week's trivia winners. Ready? Here we go. In third place, the winner is
Mr. Knife.
second place. Big cheers for
KC Double X.
And now, the moment of supreme glory. This week's trivia master, the champion of champions, is
Mr. Lucky.
Thanks to all who played. Be sure to join NFT PowerUp for another thrilling round of trivia. Who knows? You could be our next big winner. Turn on your notifications.
Congratulations to all of the winners. And that brings us
Congrats, everyone.
Don't forget, guys, that
Congratulations.
don't forget that our new trivia is out. It's a geography adventure, so a quest around the globe. Make sure you check out our pin post on X. Test your skills on your geography knowledge, and let's see who's going to top the leaderboard this week. Good luck, everyone. Alex, thank you so much for joining in on this space. It was great to converse with you and know more about your perspectives and all the things that you're building in Web3. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much for having me as well. It was great talking to you guys. Brilliant. I think it was just excellent topics to talk about as well. It was really fun.
It was nice
Thank
having you, Alex.
We're glad you enjoyed it and appreciate the feedback. Web3 guy, Ayman, MG, it's always super interesting to converse with you guys. See you all again next week, Thursday, 9:30 a.m. ET, with new topics and new Web3 projects. Until then, keep powering up.
Join us again next Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We hope you have enjoyed listening and gained valuable insight into the world of AI and Web3. Until then, keep powering up.